Phone well, son. You got a firm grasp on that. I don't know how we get started there, what you were thinking, but that aside, welcome back, everybody. We're delighted to welcome back Oliver to the studio. We have Oliver's own son, and we won't go into his incredible artistic talent on this podcast, but if you listen to the previous one this week, which was called
One Battle After Another,
you will hear all about Ollie. And we reduced my mate here, my podcast partner, to tears twice in that one, and we will try and get it to 3 times in this one. Welcome, everybody. How was your week?
Welcome back, all.
Welcome
it was
back.
good.
All.
Had a good week.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How was your? Anything for you to talk about with us today?
Not really.
What about some? Rowan.
Yes.
Tell me the proudest moment of your son.
Which son? The son in front of me? I got lots of sons.
Well, I think maybe we'll start with the one in front of you. Is there a standout moment? Is there a standout couple of moments? A good, bad, ugly?
The proudest moment.
Yeah, there's this question without notice. They all are. And I want you to think about one of a moment in your life that you remember about your dad, whether it was good or bad or funny or sad or something you did together that you really enjoyed that stands out for you.
I can tell you, I don't know if that's one particular moment, but the way I feel about this fella in front of me is the fact that...
Get the tissues ready.
Yeah, I probably will start crying. When you've got children and you get older, you think to yourself, who's going to look after me when I'm older, right?
I might start crying.
And I've always said, this is the fella... Oh, to start crying. This is the fella that will look after me when I'm 80. I've said it in every speech. He's got a heart of gold. It's his greatest strength. And his greatest weakness is that he's too caring, too sweet, and sometimes people can take advantage of him. And I try and harden him up. That's my proudest moment of Oliver.
Well, you might have me welling up there a little bit. That is actually that's beautiful, and I can see that. Ollie, I've known you for a long time as well. You have, the heart of a saint. You really do. You're soft and gentle and creative. And you're an incredible human being. And your dad's right. You should be 100% proud of you. And my children won't look after me. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could stick us in the same home, I'll need someone to look after me.
Still be doing this in...
Obviously in the Scotsman in their 100th year.
Someone's been taking my pills.
Yeah, that'll be me. Okay. Right. Okay, anyway. So that was very lovely. Thank you. Ollie, anything in reply?
Oh, what have you
What
got?
about the time he beat you?
Look at the size of him. Do you think I could beat him?
Oh,
No
I
chance.
don't want to put you on the spot. So if
You've
you don't
put me on the spot with the story here.
What about a fun time in holiday, or you threw you in the water, or anything that comes to mind? Would you bought you an ice cream somewhere?
I just think back to all the times, surfers over the years, all the times at Bala, the flat, going to Wet n Wild, Movie World, all those rides. You'd wait with me to go on the craziest ones. That huge Superman ride.
Is he good at that roller coaster stuff?
No, but I'm very good
He's
at
good
waiting.
at waiting and watching.
Very good at waiting.
Has he never come on with you then?
Nah.
On the roller coaster stuff?
No.
Oh, come on with you, Ollie.
But we have got a good connection. Ollie, Charlie and I, there's a lot of theme park, a lot of superstar, what do they call superheroes and Marvels. We've lived it together. We've watched all 22 together. It's like a family
it's about
tradition.
35 now, I think.
Yeah, well, there you go. I stopped at 22. I stopped at Thanos.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I've just clicked, well, not clicked, but you don't often have Rowan's multiple children here, but you're one of 4.
Yeah.
I'm one of 4. You're the second in line.
Yeah.
I was the oldest. What's it like being in a family of 4? Do you feel like you get your fair amount of attention?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of, there's a lot of arguments between the 4 of us. There's always fighting because there's that age difference,
Who's the peacemaker?
Oh.
Him.
At times.
Of the 4.
And who's the antagonist? No, you don't have to answer. I want you to answer.
It can depend.
Two
It changes.
antagonists.
I'll turn you off in a second. Go on. Who's
It can change. Are they using names? Are we?
Of course. Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Charlie now more.
I love Charlie.
He's reached that age. Lulu as well. But I'm not talking about that's now these past few years. But if you bring back 10 years ago more, it was like they were babies, but it was me versus Ben. That was real classic.
That's the original.
Are you fighting?
Yeah.
We're about the same. Obviously, he's a bit older, but that's equal playing field.
Like physical fights?
Yeah.
Like wrestling type fights?
Wrestling, fighting.
Yeah.
But that was always...
Any holes in walls at any point, you remember?
Yeah, there was a hole in the wall.
Awesome.
I caused it. Slammed Ben's door. Ooh, slammed it, opened, and the handle went through the door. So no punching holes in walls, but that's why we've got those little door bumpers now.
You know what I used to do, I've talked about this before with my boys, is sometimes we will have the lunch of no judgment or the walk of no judgment where you can cleanse yourself. It's essentially like...
What are you, hippies?
What do you call it?
What does that mean?
Confession. The walk of no judgment. So if it started, we were in America actually walking up the Hollywood Hills to the Hollywood sign, and the kids were young, and it's a steep bloody hill, and it was hot, and they didn't want to do it. So I came up with this idea. I said to them, look, during this walk, we're going to call it the walk of no judgment. Anything that you have done in the past, whether you've lied, you've stolen coins, you've taken chocolate, you've blamed somebody for something else, whatever it is, you can say it and there will be zero punishment, zero consequences.
Let's go.
Holy shit.
Couldn't shut them up.
They could not shut them up. I took chocolate, I took the coins from your drawer, I blamed you in this, and I broke this, and I put my hand
there
through
as
it.
well.
What?
Was Beck having a heart attack?
No, it was funny. They were young kids, and the worst they did is they put a dent in a wall, or they took some coins from my jar, or they stole some chocolate from the chocolate, that kind of thing. So the point is there anything you want to get off your chest? Because this is the podcast of no judgment.
That's absolutely not the case.
I can do this.
It's actually the opposite. It's getting recorded
Put on YouTube.
and videoed.
I think you were just muted there.
This will be going to jail. You'll go to jail.
Anything you'd like to tell us? Before we move on, or should we just move on?
Let's move on.
I think we move on.
Okay, but
I'll tell you after.
Oh, perfect. And I shall then enter that into the podcast. Right, here we go. Enough messing around, but actually not a bad little bit of a segue between The Holdovers, which is essentially a movie about young kids at school and the misbehaviours that they get up to.
And relationships between fathers and sons. And
you know what?
Students and teachers.
Absolutely.
It's just that sometimes these things come to me.
Yeah.
Just out the blue.
The accidental hero.
I like that. That's very well said. The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne, known for Sideways and The Descendants. The film was released in 2023. It's set, though, in December 1970 at a fictional New England boarding school called Barton Academy, an all-male private institution. Paul Hunnam, played by Paul Giamatti, is a classics teacher, stern, embittered, not well-liked, and haunted by his past. When most students leave for the Christmas holiday, a handful remain. One of them is Angus Tully, played by Dominic Sessa, a troubled teen whose mother cancelled a family trip for her wedding and left him behind. There's also Mary Lamb, played by divine Joy Randolph, the school cafeteria manager whose son died in the Vietnam War. Hunnam is forced to chaperone those left behind over the break. As the days go by, unlikely bonds form amid isolation, grief, past trauma, and the cold of winter. Angus visits his father in a psychiatric hospital with Hunnam. Tensions rise when the headmaster threatens to expel Angus. Hunnam ends up taking a stand for Angus, and at the end, Hunnam is effectively fired, steals cognac in a drunken gesture of defiance, and drives away. That's pretty much the movie. Ollie, you brought this movie to us. Can you tell us why you wanted to talk about this and what you thought of it?
The reason I brought this film is I absolutely love this movie. I think this is one of my favorite recent films, and I think there's a lot of discussion to be had here. Obviously, maybe it seems more surface level at the start, but I think there's a lot to talk about. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful film. I have a lot to talk about how it was shot digitally or on film. The performances are amazing. The casting. I think this movie is absolutely incredible. Everything you've just said, I think there's a lot to talk about. I really liked it.
All right. So did you like it or not?
Didn't love it.
Okay. We're going to throw to your...
Dad, what do you think?
He's settled in so much, he doesn't care for my opinion anymore.
Ollie, you're up to 14%, by the way, in your stake.
I thought it was a bit predictable.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit, to use your line, a bit by numbers, colour by numbers. I could predict every single thing that happened, which bothered me. I think there's a lot to talk about from a relationship point of view and the plot and the story, but it really bothered me how obvious a lot of it was. I felt like it was a poor man's Dead Poet Society.
I've seen that opinion before with other people who've said that. I don't think there's always something wrong with it being predictable. That can be a good sign of a clear story. the movie is quite predictable, but that doesn't mean it's not good. I think it works well on its own, even if you know how it might go, even if, it calls back to Dead Poet Society or other films. I think it stands alone very well, even if there's maybe some predictable elements of how the story might go.
Hold that thought, Robbie. Thoughts?
This is not a movie for me in terms of it's not made for me. Okay, I'm 51, maybe 52. It's not for me. As Ron said, he calls it a poor man's Dead Poet Society. I think it's not poor man's anything. I think it's like oh my God, what's the one? Breakfast Club, sorry. It's a Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like
there was a very Breakfast Club scene
Scent
in
of
it.
a Woman,
Yeah.
Rain Man-y, Dead Poets Society, other preppy boy school movies of our generation.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. Now, do I think the movie was well made? Yeah. Do I think children, adults like you or people of your generation would like it? Yes, because you didn't grow up with the ones that we grew up with, like Stand By Me and all these kind of things. So I found it a bit boring for that reason.
Fair
But
enough.
I'm really looking forward to discussing it with you and with the parts that you loved about it.
Yeah.
And feel free to change my mind.
Fair enough. Okay,
So,
that's interesting.
where would you like to start?
I'd like to start, even at the beginning of the film
Let's
with
do
the
it.
opening credits.
Do it.
We see Universal Studios logos, but it's not the current logo. It's the logo from 1970.
I enjoyed that.
Really like that.
Yes.
I can talk about more about that now.
I want you to go into it. Make it like a vintage look.
Yeah, so I looked into how it was shot. It was shot digitally, actually,
Okay.
on an Arri Alexa Mini. That's the camera, whatever.
Got a bit of movement there, Ron.
But the film
That's
was...
right up his alley.
Can we move the mouse just so it's right in my eye?
The mouse. This
Yeah.
one here?
Yeah,
Sure.
perfect. Thanks. So the film was digitally manipulated to look like it was shot on 35mm film. It wasn't shot on film, but they, manipulated digitally, added elements of grain to look like it was footage found from 1970. That was the idea of...
Like a filter.
Not just filter, like, the cinematographer, they worked to make this film look as if it was shot in, 1969, 1970.
Okay.
And then he said...
Why do you think they do that?
I think they wanted to capture that era. They wanted to capture, as if this movie could have been made then. And it's been, he said, as if it's been found in the cans of someone's garage and has just been found and now being played in the theaters.
But it's not a documentary.
No, I
as
just think
such.
it's trying to capture that, that era of early 70s, Vietnam, this preppy boys' school. I think they want to really encapsulate that vibe.
Okay. I love the explanation. That makes sense to me, yeah.
I think that just adds to it. I like that.
I thought you were meaning that it was shot kind of from the lens of somebody looking in.
Yeah, that too. I think...
Do you think that was a little bit of that?
Yeah, I think a bit of everything. We're trying to see that era. Because I noticed when we watched with you didn't realize that it was even set in the 70s until a bit later in. And there's not... You could say... That wasn't a dig. That was just...
Hold the compliments till after.
Yeah.
No, continue.
Okay.
Let's continue. Get the tissues ready.
You could say what this movie could work in the modern day. That's what people you could say. It could work set in 2025
Yeah.
or 2026 or whatever. But I personally disagree. I think the film is so centered around Vietnam, and that era, that day, the 1970s. Even like they wouldn't work with phones around. Obviously, I think it's very specific to the time of the day of that.
I agree.
50,
You've seen Dead Poets, yeah?
Yeah, I've seen Dead
So
Poets.
a similar feel to that, or
Yeah.
Chariots of Fire, even in a way, even though it was 50 years before, 40 years before, it has that feel of the old preppy boys' school
There's
mentality.
that distinction between Mr. Paul Hunnam and his students, like Angus Tully. Like there's the 1970s. I think it reached that point of the classic. Paul, like he went to the school as well, and they say I think his name was Dr. Green, was the old headmaster of that school, and that was the very classic. What's the word? What would you say the word is? Very traditional, yeah, very traditional. And they're reaching that point where people are starting to
Modernize?
and he's in that transition. I think that
Who's in? Paul Giamatti?
Paul I think Paul Giamatti is stuck in that transition that he doesn't like how the world maybe how the students aren't maybe being as traditional. They're not respecting authority.
Well, he has that conversation with the principal.
Exactly.
When he said we've been in an institution for 150 years, old school.
And the world is changing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'd argue that he's not in a transition. He doesn't want to change.
Yeah, no.
He's in a transitional world. The world is changing and he's in that transitional period.
He's stuck.
Yeah. He's stuck.
That's what the whole film is about.
That he's never left, you know?
No, but that's what the whole film is about, how they affect one another and how they change.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we talk about Paul Giamatti for just 1 second? Can we talk cast?
Mate, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. So, what's he from?
Oh, you just keep
12 Years a Slave. He plays a small part in that, but he plays his major part on a TV show called Billions.
Yeah, he's been in loads. Paul Giamatti is one of the finest actors out there.
He acts with his whole body.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, he's incredible.
Everything he does, even when he puts his glasses down, when he gets up from the table, the way he takes his glasses off and he moves his body, it's not just his voice, his whole body language, everything he does is outstanding.
He has incredible screen presence, and he's
a character actor. You know?
He is, and he embodies the characters he gets into, and he's the main reason why it's I could sit through it and enjoy it because he does command the screen. When he's on there, you sit up and you listen. Because his intonation, his speech, his articulation,
his facial expressions, everything, the glint in his eye, is amazing to watch. He's one of my favourite actors. He really is.
He is, and you can really feel for him.
Yeah, he's really good.
There was a cameo later in the show with his friend that he was embarrassed about, and he
from
makes
Harvard.
From Harvard, he makes up the lie. He also was from Billions.
That's fun.
Kelly O'Kane. I don't know if you know that, so there must be a connection there as well.
He also has some very funny lines, and what I noticed, if we go back to the start as well, they're trying to set the scene of his room. Now, he has not left the uni, as you've said, or the school, as you've said, and they go around the room and you can see the set decoration, and there's a Preparation H tube, which you may or may not have picked up. Preparation H is like a piles treatment, which if you got bum sores, essentially, that's the cream that you use. So they're trying to set a picture of this old curmudgeonly type guy, like a Scrooge character. So that's what I felt a little bit. It's a Christmas movie, and he's a Scrooge-like character for the modern day, but set in the 70s.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I felt. And they were setting that up in the initial scene, which I did kind of quite like.
Did you think from the Christmas side of things, right? I mean, we're in Australia. It's so different the summer, right? We have the hot summer Christmas, and these are the most divine, beautiful settings of the white snow and the beautiful background. You came from that part of the world. Do you ever have white Christmases?
For 30 years.
So is it strange for you? Christmas Day is the boiling hot day?
For the first few years of being here, it was bizarre. Now it's normal, and I much prefer it because I hated the cold. And also what happened over the years between me growing up and me leaving, call it global, I can't think of anything else, but call it global warming. Not that I necessarily subscribe to that hugely, but listen to this. When I grew up, I remember walking to school when the snow was at my knees. Right. I clearly remember cars, the snow up to the rims, the top of the tires, okay? Yeah. And trudging through the snow, really fun to get to work. Making snowmen, which you could roll and roll and roll for ages. And as the years went past, it got less and less until when I left, we call it sleet. It's just wet snow that just kind of half sits in the ground and never piled up. And it's never really got any more than that. So there has to be something in the world that is...
I think that's global warming.
Causing it,
that is changing, because it changed before my eyes over these 30 years.
Did you pick that hole? Did that land with you at all?
The snow and the Christmas.
Yeah, the white Christmas and the buildings and how beautiful the settings were.
Oh, the setting's incredible. I think the snow, the white snow. I think that that trapped in the cold of Christmas. I think you see all these Christmas movies. Obviously, it's so different to how we live, but it's all about the world's cold outside, but they're all warm together. They mention that they're shutting off the heat. They need to sleep in the infirmary. Yeah. They're not with family on Christmas. They're stuck together. People, these three people, they're stuck together.
There was a line that really grated on me a little bit, was fairly anti-Semitic when they laughed when they wished them a happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Was it Hanukkah, Christmas? Was it? Did they say
no, they say Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah during the final. Yeah. And then laughed. That felt very Chariots of Fire. I don't know if that was necessary or relevant. Are they trying to show that it's a really kind of a white Anglo-Saxon?
Yeah, I don't think that was it was a show of the era, I believe. There's also with the young boy, I think his name was Park, if I'm mistaken. One of the boys the Asian boy, who I think he was Korean, who was one of the holdovers at the beginning of the film. You know, they make a dig. Do you remember what the comment was?
Yep. So I agree with. So to go back to your point, absolutely, that was anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Right. Because they said, "Have a Merry Christmas," and you know what? Happy Hanukkah if there's one of you out there, and they all laugh like as if there would be Jews in a room like this, in a school like this. And the point you're making about is when he said, "Why are you all here?" Mr. Park was Asian, and he said, "I thought that your rickshaw was broken."
Yeah.
The one with the long hair.
Yeah.
Right. Now that is a stereotype that in Asia a rickshaw is like a mobile taxi with the guy with the bike with the seat on the back. So yeah, there was implications of elitism.
As I've got implications. I think that was a big part of the film. I can go into that now. We can.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish off by saying I just didn't know if it was correct for the time, and what I mean by that is it wasn't the 1940s, 50s, or 60s where World War II had just happened. It was more the 70s where that kind of intolerance was still there, but slowly creeping out.
Robbie, come
but
on.
you're thinking of the wrong. This environment, this like Anglo-Saxon.
No, I believe in that environment. It was.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself that it's not there today.
You're right. Actually,
it's still around.
We know it's around now, but you're right. But I mean, I was at a private school growing up, and I wasn't prevalent, but there was certainly anti-Semitic comments made. It wasn't. I did go to an all-boys school for the first primary school, and I never experienced anything there because I was young, and there wasn't too much growing up. But it wasn't a boarding school, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
So you're right.
You got any other examples?
Well, there's the big example, which I think you say like there's implications for intolerance. I think there's one big example we haven't mentioned yet.
Oh yeah.
Which is Curtis Lamb, which is the one character we don't see throughout the film, but I think is a huge part, which is Mary's son, the boy who died in Vietnam. They mention he was the class of 1969. The film is set in December 1970. It's only been a year since she lost her son.
Yeah.
He died in Vietnam. He didn't have the money to go to college. He wanted to. He was a smart kid. He was described as a smart kid. He couldn't go to college. He was African American. He got shipped off to war.
And he dies.
He didn't have that white privilege.
Notice there's no other black kids at the school. She's been working there since he was a baby. Mary said, she wants to give a good life for her kids. At the end of the film, she wants to give a good life for her new niece or nephew. She really wants that, and then he gets shipped off.
And that was the fear of the young boy, that if he got expelled again, and if he was in trouble again, he would get shipped off to war.
To you-know-where. He says, he doesn't even say Vietnam. He says, they'll send me to you-know-where. He says...
Is that what they were meaning?
Yeah, Vietnam.
Okay.
There's a great line. I don't want to cut forward too much, but when they leave the bar, Mr. Hunnam says... Barton boys don't go to Vietnam. They go to Yale or Stanford or
Cornell,
which
are the top universities.
Yeah, except for Curtis Lamb. Why except for Curtis Lamb? Curtis Lamb was black. He was African American in the 1970s. He couldn't escape the draft. He couldn't go to college.
They were considered dispensable.
No, but that's why Paul Giamatti was a good character, because it pissed him off that kids of white privilege got away with everything.
Exactly.
And didn't pay a price. And they think that they're having a hard life. They've got no idea what a hard life is.
Yeah.
The world is a shitty place.
He knows.
And he knows, and he's lived it.
These kids are rich. He thinks these kids are all rich and they have all this money and they're wasting it. He says, you guys are entitled little shits.
Correct.
But we also learned that Angus Tully, maybe he comes from money, but he's not living a happy life. We see it.
He's abandoned by his parents.
He's abandoned by his parents.
Well, that's what's very clever about it, because Paul Giamatti perceives that they're all the same. If you go to this school to Barton, you're of white privilege. And
for the most part, he's correct.
But the chef says to him, have you ever asked him? Have you ever spoken to him? Do you know what happened to his father?
No, but that's the thing I think is also key.
That's what makes it a good film.
Paul Giamatti is institutionalized. He's never left.
Correct.
So he never left.
He has no other idea about what could be happening in their lives, and he's
lived surrounded by these boys for who knows how long he's worked.
And 99% probably are white privilege with a silver spoon.
They
and
all have this money
and helicopter. I mean, they leave. 4 of them leave on a helicopter to go to the snow. I mean,
none of them are going to Vietnam.
None of them are going to
die.
But Robbie's point is right, because I thought of Shawshank. They even make him drive,
It's a revelation. It's like a coming-of-age movie for Paul Giamatti.
Stop the clock.
Okay, for Paul Giamatti.
He says that in every podcast.
He is realising he's opening up, he's developing, he's becoming a better person.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he makes the young boy become a better person as well, and a better appreciation. It's a human film about understanding the others and what people are going through, because you do not know what people are going through. Of course.
And it's these... And even if you do, I think the film is about these three people who, none of them get to be... Obviously, it's a Christmas movie. None of them get to be with their family for three different reasons.
So I was surprised at this.
And they've come together to make their own, obviously not family, but I mean, I guess their little family, Mary, Mr. Hunnam and Angus, they all want to be somewhere else. Mary wants to be with her son, who's died in Vietnam. Angus wants to be with his father and his mother, who aren't together anymore, and his father's really sick. He's got dementia. Paul Hunnam, he wants to be in Carthage. He doesn't know what he wants.
Wouldn't it be weird? Sorry.
Carthage. At the end he wants Carthage, like he wants to look into history. He wants to write his book.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we think he wants, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to be in this school. It's not how he wanted his life to turn out. He didn't want his former student to turn out to be the headmaster, right? That's his boss now.
I agree with two of the three. I don't know if I agree with what Paul Giamatti wants. I reckon he wanted to be loved. I think his face. Did you know when he thought he was on with the when he was on with the other teacher?
I agree with you as well. I'm not. I think they're both.
Yeah, he was. Do you know the scene when they're at the party, and he thinks I'm getting ahead with this girl here, the teacher, the female teacher, and then she's
finally breaking through.
He's breaking through. She hasn't picked up his smell, and that he doesn't know much, and some of his jokes are working in the history, and then she gets up and kisses her husband,
and at the same time,
face was. I'm getting tingles. His face was unbelievable. He didn't need to say anything. Did you pick that? Mm-hmm. His eyes were like, right? Because he's lonely.
Is it too late for me? Am I, they're already married?
He went and sat with the chef lady when she was cooking.
What a wonderful Christmas time is playing in the background. Everyone's having a good time.
He's lonely. He was lonely.
He's lonely. He wants, this isn't how he wanted his life to turn out.
Because then they go outside and he says, can I tell you something? You smell. Like, that's a terrible thing to have.
Yeah.
And he knew all about it. He says, I've lived with it. And then when he goes on another night and he sprays with the toilet can on the outside of his shirt, remember that?
Yeah.
He wants to be accepted. He wants to be, this isn't how he wanted his life to turn out. When he sees his old friend from Harvard, he doesn't think he's entitled to his story. He can't yet admit to himself that this isn't what he wants. To still be in Baden, still never escaped his school, right? And then we hear these stories that, he hit someone with his car. He was like Angus as well a little bit, I think.
Yep.
But he never left.
He sees a little bit of himself in the kids that are there, but he's just been so close to learning or to be opening up. He doesn't feel it. I was bothered a little bit. Okay, so 4 of them or 5 of them, however many kids, had to stay behind for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That only happened for 5 minutes, essentially.
It was a little quick.
And it was very convenient that one of the kids' fathers calls up and goes, right, I'm going to take you all the way to the snow. The helicopter will be there in 5 minutes. We just need approval from your parents. And they could all get approval from the parents, apart from this one kid that, what's his name, couldn't. And then they all disappeared. Boom, they're off. So I thought it was all a little bit... I wasn't expecting that. And I think maybe it could have been a better... let's discuss. Could it have been a better film if more of the kids had been there? I just don't think there was enough between the 3 of them to play on.
I don't think so. I think I like the 3 of them together. It makes sense there were other kids who had to hold over. And I think that just adds to it.
So it was the holdovers, not the holdover.
Well,
yeah, the S bothered me as well, because
the boys are the holdovers. They're holding over Christmas break because they're not going home.
And you missed the point, though. The point was the S implies multiple, and the premise of this show was really only one.
Well, I disagree. Yes, all the boys were the holdovers, and yes, by the end, throughout the movie, Angus was the only holdover student, but Mr. Hunnam was holding over. He has nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Mary has nowhere else to go either. They're both holding over at school. They have nowhere else to go.
Very well explained.
You're holding over. There's no Christmas break for them because...
Yes, it wasn't just the students. This was a group of people. Yes,
and that's true. And I just had a thought that...
But I agree. Sorry, Robbie. I agree with your point. It was too quick. They get to go deeper when there's less students, but in
course.
Dead Poets, they can run multiple threads.
No, but I've got a theory now on why the three of them were left. Because they become a family unit.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I was saying.
And she replaces the dead son. He replaces the dead son.
He replaces the dead son. And she becomes the wife he doesn't have, and he becomes the father.
But obviously, they're not like actually becoming a family, but they're all taking places. And obviously, they can't fully replace the people they've lost, but they're all
that's the roles
helping
that
each other.
Taking into. Okay, yeah. This
the reason I
was
say
growing on me a little bit,
but it felt like a family.
Yeah.
When they're sitting there having dinner, the three of them let him go.
I disagree with what you were saying about. With the other boys, you think they should have stayed?
Well, not now. After we've just discussed that, actually, I thought it was a bit convenient how they did it, but I know now why they had to do that.
I wrote down when watching this film that when there was like the five or six boys who were holding over, and Mr. Hunnam was teaching them, it was still like a classroom, it was still like a school environment, even though they were on break. You still made them study, made them do sports. But then there's a shift when the other boys go and it just becomes Angus and Mr. Hunnam. It stops being teacher and student because now they're equals. What's he going to do? Chase him down the hall? He can't.
Well, he did.
Well, he tries to.
That was very Breakfast Clubby.
Yeah.
But it was also...
He can't keep up. They become equals.
Yes.
I think that was relevant to show, yes, when there's a lot of students and one teacher, that's the environment. But that doesn't work when you've got one student. The dynamic change, I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that worked well, and I liked that scene when the kid stood up for himself as well.
Yeah.
So that was good. Yeah, no, I like that. He did have a few lines, a few funny lines. I thought Paul Giamatti that came out. For most, life is like a henhouse ladder, shitty and short. Not for you entitled ones. Are you trying to look down my shirt? I thought it was a different one. What else did they say? Brilliant, I don't know, but very smart. It would be devastating if you pulled him out now. Your penis cancer in human form.
Yeah.
There was a few... Obviously, he might have delivered it a little bit better. Do you sacrifice your integrity on the altar of their entitlement?
Yeah.
How good was that?
I like one of the lines, I think he says at the start in the first lesson, when he hands out, and he whistles when he hands them all their failing grades. He says, not for ourselves are we born. That's just one of the lines he says when he's talking about Greek history. I think that line's quite interesting. Not for ourselves are we born. We're not here just to live for our own selves. We're here to, connect with others, and that's something he's never done. And I think he's missed it.
Very similar to the Robin Williams character in Dead Poets, actually.
Yeah, there's definitely a connection there. I do see that.
Yeah.
Did you think it was interesting that this was a show about you had to have high integrity at the start and be...
Barden men don't lie.
Barden men don't lie. They were all supposed to be perfect, and yet it was the lies that brought them together.
Of course.
Made them closer. So when he broke his arm, right?
I never got to see my dad.
And they lied to protect each other. Right? And he got him, and they lied, and he said...
They come closer.
Did you think... And they became closer. Did you do that to get one over me? No, you can just say thank you, sort of thing. Like, it's interesting that they had these experiences together, and that brought them closer. But not because they were Barton men, just because they were normal guys.
Even at the end, when before they shake hands, they say Barton men, and they laugh because they know that phrase "Barton men don't lie" is silly. It may be outdated. They do lie throughout the film. We see them both lie, but the schools push this message on them,
but that's the same actually with a lot of schools. They've all got their own motto: be of good courage, be of good faith, be upstanding, all this kind of stuff. So, do you think it's indicative or typical or real of an actual boarding school for males? Do you think it's in real life, true to life?
Yeah, I found it. Yep, I did.
In general, do you think that's how it would be? Yeah, as far as we know.
With seeing how the boys with each other, the main relationship between the kids is, Angus and then Coos, the other boy who they're always fighting with. He draws in his picture. You see these boys living together. They're always fighting at each other's heads. I think it feels pretty real, I would say, to what a boarding school might be like.
I mean, I can only think back to the UK and Eton and Cambridge, not necessarily Cambridge, but some of these real old school institutions where the royals used to go.
Eton, that's the one they mentioned in Chariots. Eton and Keys.
Yeah, which is also male. I think. I mean, you heard horror stories about what can happen in initiations and things like that. Yeah. But I think people still get sent to boarding schools. There's boarding schools here in Melbourne, so it does still happen a lot.
Did you think it was? I mean, I'm a softie, right? It's pretty obvious. But wasn't it sad you want to be loved by your parents, right? And there he was. He gets a letter, happy birthday. There's not one word written. It's just whatever's come on the card and a pile of money. And he looked at like, he needs love and care and attention and time.
Exactly.
And the mother couldn't give a shit about him, right?
He's lost his mother. Mary's lost her son. You know, that's...
Yeah, and when he goes... And then the hardest scene of the film for me was when he went to see his dad. I mean, the dad was nowhere.
Well, even before that, the hardest scene for me was when he gets the call from his mother that we cannot have you for Christmas when he's not wanted.
Yeah.
I mean,
she wants to replace... He says she sees my dad in me, you know. She doesn't want to look at him anymore.
You think so?
Well, she said, I've got my own life now.
She doesn't want to look at... See her...
which is selfish
I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that. I just think she was selfish in that she was going away on holiday. She had no time for him. She might be going skiing or whatever, and the house was closed up, and the new father figure didn't really want him around. So it's much easier if you just stay there. Please don't make it difficult for me. You know, I miss your dad, and I wanted to work with this new dad. Now we think at this point that the father's dead, and as you said, coming back onto it, that we realise that the father's actually had a mental breakdown, or is a schizophrenic or something, and he's in a home, which is sad. But I mean, not a massive surprise, and we've seen it done plenty of times before. I just thought the actual talking to your mother and being told that you're not wanted was very sad.
Yeah, I don't think, find it such a surprise, but I don't think that takes away from it.
No.
Well,
because it's still real.
He would still feel that way, because when he says, he goes and he pours his heart out to his dad, and he's rambling, he's not even coherent, and he's waiting, he's dying to hear what his dad will say, and his dad says,
I think they're stealing my food.
I think I can't taste my food, or
I think they're stealing my food.
I think they're stealing and his eyes again were like, I'm talking to an empty shell.
What if I turn out like this? He says that later.
Yeah, he was petrified. And that's when they grew closer again, because that's when Paul Giamatti really took on the father figure of, you're not your father, you're your own man, you're a boy. I loved how he didn't sugarcoat it. You're still a pain in the ass, right? Yeah. It was very real. That was very real.
It was.
They're real people, you know. They're
well, as much as I love you, you can be a pain in the ass. Like nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I still love you to death, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've heard you talk about your boys like that, right?
Yeah.
You love them, but they frustrate you, and that's what Paul Giamatti says. Don't get me wrong, you're not perfect.
Yeah.
You know.
I was thinking about, when they're getting their first meal and they see the teacher and she's working at the restaurant over the break. I thought that's interesting. I think that adds to this idea of class, which is throughout the film. These teachers, she has to work a second job over the break, but these boys get to go holiday. They get to go ski. They get to go wherever. And the teachers are staying in town and getting a second job. It's, I think, the idea of class, rich versus poor, who gets to go to this school, who gets to go to college, who has to get sent off to war, and who gets to stay. I think that all
these different messages and themes were present throughout the film. I think well said, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was just something to bring up.
I tell you what's a nice part of the film. When they did start to get closer, when they wanted the dessert.
Yeah.
Didn't you think that was beautiful?
That was a great scene.
Wasn't that clever?
Remind me of that scene.
Okay, so the three of them are at this restaurant and they want to get an alcoholic dessert. It was called...
Cherry... It was cherry something. It was
a cherry blossom or something.
Cherry I don't know.
A cherry jubilee.
Cherry jubilee.
Right, a cherry jubilee. They had alcohol and they wouldn't do it. And then...
Because they lit it on fire.
Because they lit it on fire. It looked great, probably tasted wonderful. And Paul Giamatti's like, what sort of show are you running here? And in the end, the chef, again, often like the other parent does, is the bridge between the two of them, says, can you just give us some cake and whatever the other
ice cream and cherries.
Ice cream and cherries. And they go outside to the car and they don't even end up eating it because it falls on the road because it lit on fire. Yeah. But the three of them, they made good, right? They turned water into wine. They turned lemons into lemonade. Yeah. That is the theme of the film.
And I thought...
They were hungover. Sorry, go on. They were stuck there.
Yeah.
Right? And all of a sudden they all wanted to be somewhere else, but what they realised was together it was beautiful. Yeah. And that's what made it a very nice film.
It's not what they realised. This is the bonding that happens.
Yeah, sorry, it grew on them. Yes, you don't realise. You needed time and experiences.
Yeah. What I was saying is about that scene with the cherries. If we cut back to earlier when he wants to order the champagne of beers. He wants to order a Miller. He wants to order a beer. He won't let him. No way you're ordering a beer. And then at the end of the movie...
He's fighting for him.
Yeah. Not only that, I'm just saying specifically with the alcohol, when he makes him this cherry jubilee, the lady won't see it. You know, she won't let him have it. She doesn't respect him, this random lady. No one respects Angus, but Paul Giamatti's character, Mr. Hunnam, he sees him now. He respects him. He'll happily give him alcohol, and then he pours him a bit too much, and they light it on fire. I think that's interesting. He didn't let him have a beer at the start of the film. That's just one thing I noticed.
No, but you're spot on, right?
Yeah.
Because at the start of the film, it was teacher-student.
Yeah.
And by the end of the film, it was either friend, or almost father-son.
Or just a mutual respect for each other.
Mutual respect.
Yeah.
People who aren't usually respected.
Or respectful of each other.
And that's what was beautiful with the final line.
Because
right?
you earn respect, okay?
Yeah.
It's not just expected, whereas the main teacher, he expected to be respected. And it doesn't work like that.
And they're so similar. They both, when we find out near the end of the movie, they both take Librium, and then he says, "Oh, these are just my pills," and he's like, "Oh, it's for
depression."
And he's like, "It's for depression," and then he
turns
the door
around 1 second
and
later.
He also takes it. They're not too similar. They're not too dissimilar.
Even the final line of the film when he says, "Keep your head up, you'll be okay."
I was going to say the same.
I was going to say the same to you. I was going to cry again.
You know, they both steal.
And lie.
Because exactly, they both steal. They both lie. Angus stole. Angus says he steals. We don't know what he means, and then we later find out he actually did steal that the snow globe, which he gave to his father. And at the end, we find out that Mr. Hunnam stole that nice bottle of
the cognac.
Yeah. And he drinks it. He spits it out. Whatever.
Yeah. But I think these lines that you're going to be okay lines between father and son or human and human. When you tell somebody you're going to be okay, you know, in times of trouble, and you look out for somebody and you take them under your wing, Rowan, and you know you just want them to be okay. You're going to be. It's like you can reach it. You're going to be okay. I love you, man. You know we'll be okay as well. Okay.
I hope so.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right, Rowan.
I'm having a look
at me. We're going to be okay.
If we don't kill each other, we will be.
We're going to be okay. Try for number 3.
What do you think about?
He's glassing. He's glassing.
What do you think about? You know, out of all the subjects they could have chose for Mr. Hunnam to teach in the school, they chose for him to teach ancient civilizations. They chose for him to teach not history,
because that's
but
where he's stuck.
Someone who is stuck in the past, looking at history. And yes, he is interested in history.
Lovely.
And by the end, he wants to go to Carthage. He wants to write his book.
But did you think...
But he's stuck in the history. And then later at the end of the film, he says, your history does not dictate your destiny. Something he's learning.
Because he evolved from being an IQ human. He was an IQ human.
He's a genius.
He was a genius. But that was showcased when he's at the bowling bar.
Yeah.
And he's talking... Santa Claus is there drunk, talking to the barman, and it's just rambling. And he interrupts with this great diatribe about... You shouldn't be wearing Santa Claus red outfit in the...
Because it's technically inaccurate to historical.
And they looked at him with disdain of...
Yeah.
Just, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
And then he looks back and he sees Angus talking to these girls and he's like, he wants the best for this boy.
But he was warming. He had high IQ, no EQ, and his EQ was rising.
Yeah.
Through the show, his understanding of people and how to communicate.
He was growing. He was growing. Growing as a human, like we all do.
Correct.
I want to...
Go on. No.
So you go.
No, I was going to move to Rowan Reminiscences, but I think...
I was going to say about my favourite line of the film. I have it in bold here somewhere. Obviously, I love the Barton boys don't go to Vietnam. They go to Yale or Dartmouth, whether they deserve to or not. That's a great line. But my favourite line of the film was when Paul says, in college, I started a monograph on Carthage. I'd like to finish that someday. And Angus says, why not just write a book? He says, I'm not sure I have a full book in me. And Mary says, you can't even dream a whole dream, can you? Even his dream, what he wants to do when he escapes the school, when he leaves, is to write a monograph. He doesn't want to write a book. He doesn't think he could. He doesn't have it in him to write a book. He doesn't think. He can't even dream a whole dream. Yet at the end, Mary gives him a book, and he says, there's a lot of pages in here. She wants him to write a book. She wants him not to not to do something small. She knows he can do it.
Everybody has a book in them. It's just realizing that
He
and
can't
believing in
even
yourself.
dream a full dream.
He also an very insecure guy, I would imagine, in himself. Doesn't believe in himself. Doesn't think he's good enough. Knows
he never made it. That's
knows very well. He's never made it out of that one room in the
everyone
college.
has surpassed him. You know.
Yeah, he's been left behind. Very well articulated, Oliver.
Thank you.
Have you got anything else to add before we move to Rowan Reminiscences, or you'd like to? Why don't you take a break?
Okay.
Take a little break while we move to Rowan Reminiscences.
All right.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Ollie. We're going to set this in 1970. In 1970, we saw
Take it slow. Take it slow.
All right.
Well, some big things happened in the 70s. We saw the breakup of the most famous band in music history, the Beatles. There you go. This has been good learning for me.
When was Lennon shot?
1980.
Okay.
Thank you. Good cover. Jimi Hendrix died in 1979.
79.
Sorry, 1970. My apologies. That's just a typo. Apollo 13, the famous Houston, we have a problem.
The Rocky character.
Sorry?
I'm just joking.
I gotcha. Houston, we have a problem was the 1970 trip to the moon.
Great movie, Apollo 13.
The music of the day, the most famous song in that year.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
No, you'll sing it with me. The bridge over troubled waters. There you go. So that was a big one.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. Here's one I didn't know. In Melbourne, the famous Westgate Bridge collapsed, killed 53 people. There you go.
That's not ideal.
One for the architects. You weren't around at the time.
I'm not a bridge builder, but
No,
thank you.
you're not, but it's architecture. The Oscars, the winner of the best movie in 1970 was a film about US General George S. Patton.
Patton.
Have you seen it?
No, I've started it, but I can't get through it.
Are we doing it on the show or not?
No.
Well, this dominated the Oscars that year.
George C. Scott.
George C. Scott. This one, ready for this? Best Director, Best Movie, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Actor. Though George C. Scott famously refused the award.
Yes, that's right. I think this is the time of Peter Sellers as well in his work.
Brazil won the World Cup of Soccer. And the famous actors, this is a bit I want to get to. Ready for this?
But before, maybe instead of telling us, could you describe them and we can guess who they might be?
I'll tell you the movies they've been in.
Okay, Ollie, you ready?
Ready?
Yep.
First on the buzzer. Ready?
Just take it slow.
This person was born on October 8, 1970, and they were in Good Will Hunting, The Bourne Identity, and The Martian.
Matt Damon?
And his name is
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. This person was born in November 6, 1970. They were in Training Day, Dead Poet Society, and Reality Bites.
I've forgotten his
Captain,
name.
my captain.
The young
He
guy.
says,
Don't give us a first
Ethan
letter.
Hawke?
Ethan
Yes,
Hawke.
well done, 1-0.
Captain, my captain. Born in April 7, 1970. This person was in Gladiator, A Beautiful Mind.
Joaquin Phoenix? Oh, no.
Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind. Born in New Zealand.
Russell Crowe.
I'm Decimus Maximus Meridius. I'm Russell Crowe.
Half a point each.
This is good fun. New section. This person was born in the 5th of June 1970. I'm in The Departed, Ted,
Leonardo.
and The Fighter.
What's his name?
I am.
The
I
fighter.
own a hamburger restaurant.
Wahlberg.
Well done.
Yeah.
What's the score?
2.5 to 1.5.
Yeah.
This person born on August 23, 1970. He's in Stand By Me and My Own Private Idaho.
Joaquin Phoenix, River Phoenix.
River Phoenix.
I wouldn't have got that.
3.5 to 1.5.
On to the females. Born May 18, 1970. I was in 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live.
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey.
Well done.
Dominating.
He's dominating. The podcast man.
Offensive to the guest.
March 27, 1970. Primarily a singer, but she was in a movie called Precious.
Oh, don't say.
When a hero comes along.
Oh, it's not.
No, when a hero.
Don't say.
I've got nothing.
No, that's Whitney. I've got nothing. This is Mariah Carey.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have gone that. The Christmas song.
That was a good. Did anyone get that quickly? I've got nothing. That was okay. These are going to be a bit harder. Born March 18, 1970. That's only a few days after my brother. Chicago and Set It Off and Taxi. She doesn't have a first name. She is
Chicago. 1970.
Queen
Latifah.
Well done. This one, born March 7, 1970, wife of Daniel Craig,
Oh, yes.
All right.
Her
Rachel
name,
Weisz.
Rachel Weisz.
Weisz.
She's dominating. 3 to go. Born in April 29, 1970. She's in Pulp Fiction and she's...
Uma Thurman. Yeah.
He's going to get the broom out here.
He's watching 2 movies every week.
He's. I know, but he's slow. So he must be really doing... Oh, you're still here. Ready? Born... Now, get ready. This is a link to one we've already done. There's the hint. Concentrate. Born December 12, 1970.
None of that matters, really, does it?
No, but it's a build-up.
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind. Requiem.
Paul.
We're doing the females.
Oh, sorry.
Come on. There's one female in A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, she was in Labyrinth.
And she's in Labyrinth for Cassie. Her name is...
Don't say give a first letter.
Jay.
I have no idea. This is the worst segment.
She wins a gold Oscar. Her name is...
She was terrible in...
Her name is...
Jay. Okay.
Her name is...
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, of course.
Last one. B-grade Australian actor, born April 3, 1970, from Animal Kingdom and Star Wars Rogue One.
Is it the angry... Oh, Ben.
Ben.
Ben Foster, not Foster. Ben, next letter?
M.
Mendelssohn.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done.
Oh, he stopped the sweep. You stopped the sweep. Well done.
That was
There
good.
You should cut this bit out.
Hey,
What?
nothing gets cut out.
Oh, you mean because...
Oh, because I got
Because you
none of them.
lost.
Yeah.
You were doing well at the start.
Are you competitive like your father?
Yeah. And if I lost, so you got to cut it out.
I thought you were a sweet, kind of didn't matter what butter doesn't
Yeah.
melt.
For the most part.
That was fun.
That was good.
That was exciting.
We're going to do that again.
You were good at it.
I was good at that. That's the only things I know.
Hey,
Useless-
Tina Fey was a good one.
Useless information. I'm pretty... Okay, anyway, good.
It
Let's
should
move
have
on.
been better with Russell Crowe, the two of you.
Yeah, let's move on. Okay, well...
Okay.
Did you think of anything else you'd like to talk about for the movie? Otherwise, I'll move on to...
Yeah, this might be, I don't know. After watching this film, it reminds me a lot of the book The Catcher in the Rye, if you've read that.
Yes, no, I have
We
not.
did that at school.
Yeah?
What's the premise of that movie?
The premise of that is Holden Caulfield at a boarding school. You know, he's troubled and he basically gets kicked out. But rather than waiting a few days to get kicked out on the Wednesday, on the Friday night, maybe it's a Saturday, I don't remember, he leaves the school and he goes and explores New York by himself. He gets into all sorts of trouble. And then, you know, sorry for spoilers, he comes home, he meets his sister, and then that's the book. But it's more about his internal struggles. I felt that Angus Tully felt very reminiscent to Holden Caulfield. This film feels very inspired by that book. I felt that it was a connection there to that story.
I think that is a lovely segue to head into our trivia time. You have been excellent as usual. That seat is there for you always. Here's trivia time. Okay, the budget was 13 million. The worldwide box office was about 45.7 million. It had 2 wins at the Golden Globes and the British Academy Film Awards. Randolph won the Best Supporting Actress award at both ceremonies. It also won, as he's put behind me here, as you can see on YouTube, our little golden statue. It received 5 nominations at the 96th Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Giamatti. Randolph won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Yes.
Well done to her. The film is the second collaboration between Payne and Giamatti after Sideways. And you've just talked about the 1970s look. Thank you. So I shall remove that from the trivia list. Giamatti's character, we never touched on this, has amblyopia, which is a lazy eye. To get this effect, special hand-painted soft contact lenses were used by makeup effects artist Christina Patterson.
What was another film that we learnt that about bad eyesight where they had in Scent of a Woman?
You guys watch more movies than me.
We do watch more movies than you, but there's the links, and that's the beauty of podcasting.
Bob Hoskins in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But you've never heard of the name Bob Hoskins, have you?
Nope.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
He was a big unit.
Have you heard of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, I've heard the film.
Go and look up Jessica Rabbit when you get home. Just close the door and have a look up Jessica.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. No, Jessica, not Jesus Christ.
You have it written down about this is Dominic Sessa's first film. Angus Tully, this was his first film.
Really?
Yep.
Would you like to take over?
I would like. Can I take over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Genuinely, yeah, you go.
So
Okay, well, I was being
I have
sarcastic,
it written down.
Yep.
Dominic, is that his name? Yeah. He was so the casting scout, they were looking at this academy. I have it written down, the name of the academy. It is the Deerfield Academy. In 2021, the casting director, looked at the school. They wanted to shoot the film here, and they went to audition some of the boys in, the drama school of this academy, and he was one of them, and he got the role. He went to that school, and he got the role. This is his first film he's ever been in. He's a young guy, and yeah, this is his first movie ever, his first performance on screen. He's set to play Anthony Bourdain in a biopic that is upcoming called Tony. He is, I think he was really good, and he's a young guy, someone to keep an eye on.
I'd say that Anthony Bourdain. Time to
Anthony
say
Bourdain is
goodbye.
fantastic.
You know that song?
Anthony Bourdain is a chef.
Oh, I thought that's the singer.
Oh no!
Isn't that the singer?
No,
I'm so upset. I missed that. Because I zoned him out sometimes.
I thought that was the singer.
We've got a screen grab. Hang on.
You gotta get
sound grab here. What did you say? So you think Tony who?
We're gonna have to delete.
who do you think Anthony Bourdain is?
Anthony Bourdain, isn't it that singer? The blind guy. What was his name? The singer. Time to. It is. It's a very similar sounding name.
Maybe. Anthony Bourdain is the chef who had all those TV shows.
Oh.
Just look up the three tenors for me, would you?
Yeah, I will. I will. It is.
We've got Pavarotti. It's Placido Domingo. You numpty.
Nah.
Not Placido is the big one.
Yeah. It's Pavarotti.
Yeah. No, Placido Domingos. That's who you're talking about.
I'll Google it.
Okay. Oh, dearie me. Well, actually, to be fair, between us, we're both hopeless. Listen, can you do me a favour? Because that was awesome. Can you give me an finally, an extended and finally, and then I can do my and finally?
Andrea Bocelli. What did you say?
Anthony Bourdain. Close enough.
Close enough. You've always had a slight... He's got a little accent because he watched a lot of Dora the Explorer as a
Anthony
kid.
Scavramelli. Anyone with an Italian accent.
Go on, Robbie.
Contra Paracanelli.
Give us a trivia.
Okay, Tony Pavaroli. Can you give me an and finally, please?
And finally?
No, got to be louder. Get it.
And finally?
No, elongate.
And finally.
And finally.
That's better.
Do you have to speak all the time and interrupt? One more time and you won't say anything and then I shall continue.
And finally.
On the day of shooting the scene where Angus calls home, Dominic Sessa flubbed a take because he didn't know how to dial and had to be shown how. It hadn't occurred to him, to anyone, that he had never used a rotary phone before. Are you familiar with a rotary phone?
I know what they look like.
And you went dring, dring, dring. What about a cassette tape? Do you know how you fix a cassette tape with a tape
pencil?
pencil?
I think I do know how to use a rotary phone, but that's
okay. That is a conversation for another day. Look, Ollie, thank you very much again. You were fantastic. Honestly, it's brilliant talking to you about this kind of stuff. So please come back. Thank you for your time. And if you could just finish off by giving us a rating and anything else you'd like to add.
My rating, I think this is a 4.8 out of 5.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's a big score.
You
said at the start it's one of your best films.
I really like this movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
really resonated. Hit a chord.
Maybe I'll say 4.7.
Hold your ground.
Yeah, hold your ground.
I don't know. Okay, 4.8.
Is it because the scene where the mum calls and says you're not welcome home resonated with you? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And would you like to?
And Dad, what did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a little simple. I've come from other films, right?
Yeah.
Dead Poets, Shawshank, Breakfast Club. There's little pockets of all of it.
Yeah.
I would give it a low 4s, like a 4.1.
Wow, that's high.
It's. I'll tell you why. I'll give you one more. I'll have one more second, okay? Because I love the dynamic and the growth between the boy and the teacher. Yeah. And Paul Giamatti is a superstar. So he's 3 before you breathe.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay.
Now you're going to feel awful giving it a 2, aren't you? A heartless Scotsman.
I'm going to mark this as a sophisticated investor, a sophisticated podcast investor, if you like. Okay. This is not for me. I felt it a bit slow. It just went a bit too long for me. But I can appreciate after talking to you how it would resonate for your age group, let's say. Okay.
It's very condescending. By the way.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
But it's not meant
Well,
for us.
you've grown. No, but don't you understand? When we started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, you would look at this and think, not for me at all. Now you've got a better appreciation. You've warmed up more. You're opening up more with your stories.
Like the teacher.
Okay, but
It's like Paul Giamatti.
that might be right. But why was my comment condescending that I don't think it's made for us and it's made for all these graphics?
It's not for me, but it's for you. Anytime anyone ever says that, it sounds condescending.
For your demographic, it's like the Breakfast Club was for us when we were kids. Like
He
Stand By
loved
Me.
the Breakfast Club.
Both Club's great.
Okay, I apologise if it sounded condescending to you or anybody. That was not my intention, but if it did,
I don't think so.
don't care. Right, so what my rating is a 2.8.
Jesus, really?
Really?
I gave one battle after another 2.9.
This is better than that.
I
Very
think-
different.
No.
I
Very
think
different.
this is better.
Okay,
Very different.
that is why we all have ratings.
And we'll come back next week. I tell you what,
we will.
Rowan's Reminiscence
Do you
stole
want-
the show with the trivia in it.
If you say so yourself.
Except the extra dates.
No, as you say, it's a good wind-up, a good build-up. Listen, where do you watch this? If anyone wants to watch this, give us their own opinion. Where can you watch it?
Where did we watch this?
Prime.
On Prime.
Get it on Prime, and I tell you what, not only that, if you want to see this, this is condescending, this boy in action, if you want to see Oliver in action, and you want to see his old man cry, check us out on YouTube, because it's up now, hopefully. Thank you again, Ollie.
It will be.
Yeah.
If our editor-in-chief...
That's
I hope,
an in-joke.
And I hope you're not editing for him. If our editor-in-chief edits it up. Look, thank you again, everybody. I think we're done. That's it for me.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
I love you to death. Well done. Very impressive.
How many cries did we get from him? I think 2.5.
I think we got 2.5.
I was crying before, the second he opened his mouth.
Okay, cool.
But for now, Ollie, well done.
Thanks.
But for now, thanks for listening.
Until next time.